Okay, I'm on my hair's a mess. I'm gonna have to lower that. I'm gonna have to take off my what's these slippers. This dress I got today, the second time I went back to the thrift, and when I saw, well, oh my god, you guys, this woman, I hate her. I hate her. Do you remember? She goes back a long ways, but Arthur would remember last Halloween or in that era, like in that Halloween time, that pumpkin spice time, and she was so nasty about like she said something like, if I catch you trying on something again, I'll have you thrown out, you'll never come back. So it's that same woman still working there. And so they brought a rack out, and I went over to the rack. I didn't even touch something yet. I was looking at it, and then she comes over her face over the side of the rack was kind of thing. She goes, "You're not allowed to touch anything on the rack." And she said, "The rules apply to everyone." And I was like, I just stood there, and then she like took the rack away like it was her child that I was trying to steal. Like, I was like, what the hell? The rules apply. And like, first of all, there's not a sign posted. And the way that it was like, as I was thinking, am I being treated like the lower status monkey of that monkey experiment? Or am I the higher status monkey that when she's like, it's everyone? Like, although, like, what was I wearing today? Uh, I forget. It'll come to me. A dress. Oh, a little yellow dress with embroidered flowers at the top. Okay. So, but the thing is, I saw stuff on the rack, and this was one of them that caught my eye, and I couldn't remember all of it. So I told myself, I'm just gonna buy some of these things, and I'll return some, and I'll come back. Not this one. I took the tag off. Like, bitch, you look good. I love it. Well, I'll show you something. Where did I put that? What I was gonna show you. Well, maybe it's around. I have a whole book, and I might have this dress in it. Anyway, this was on it. There was a few other dresses. Like, I'll do like a whole haul tomorrow because I'm gonna go out again tomorrow somewhere else. So it's good. You're gonna like it. Oh, the dress I wore today in that well, I'll say it now. I didn't want to spoil and do like description, but the strip off with the pantyhose strip off. I just saw before I came on Daryl. Speaking of Daryl, let me get my coffee. Um, like one of his latest message he wrote me, like I could tell, and no one else could. Like, you were bearing your soul, and it was not sexy like the dress or something. It was and it was like, no, I was bearing my ass and tits. Like it was just a nice request. Like somebody had requested in the past. It was the same person. I'm like, are you gonna do more, or could you do pantyhose strip? And I think I sent them a clip of me doing it in the pool. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do more because we're gonna do more. And then I came up with this idea before I saw that dress, and I was like, a glamorous dress with just like a crown and like jewelry because I had that new necklace. Oh, I got a new crown today too at the Totemoto. Um, and he seemed to like that idea. So with all the drama today, I thought, even though I had like chicken sandwich, I had like a cinnamon roll breakfast, like I was like, you know what? He's so sweet. I'm gonna do that request. And I had got that dress because I thought it would be a good one because it's so heavy with all the beading that it would just fall and drop because the weight of it. Um, and if I did it more times, I think I could have done it better. But they want more like pantyhose strip tees, and so I think it's just such a fun idea if you guys like that. So, and I did have the shorter gloves, and maybe I should have did longer gloves, but I did the little ones because I did say gloves too. But no, I like doing that. I think it's fun. I like and yeah, so that was a request. I do love doing you guys requests and make me feel something good about myself. Sorry, I'm trying to. Did I ruin this book? Oh, there's the book. Okay, give me a second. When I saw that Valentino documentary, and oh, by the way, these are the shoulders. He did that perfect bow on that model, and he's like, just if only I could do a bow. Perfect. Oh, but There's the book on it. Well, let me. I almost spilled that. Let me get you a little lower. Sorry again for all the garbage, but I was out calming my. Let me get a little higher. Stress and aggravation from what happened last night. But like I was trying to say, it wasn't. Should I back up? It wasn't just that. Like there's been. I can probably take these off now. There's been. This is the book. It's called Diane von Furstenberg, The Rap. It has great photos, and it's actually written by Andre Leon Talley from Vogue. And I don't think this is the first of her dresses I have, like vintage. I think I got one once that was like, maybe I didn't, but I kind of remember when I used to go to the outlets, Shudder, and you'd hope to find something out of these bags of trash, and there usually be like something really wrong with them, that they made it to the outlets. I'm not seeing, because she's known for that like wrap dress. I love these 80s style, and I was just thinking before the show, I was like, I feel like this sort of 80s, like I think it's 80s, and I was like, you should do, because I was like, what shoe? You should do an 80s shoe. And then I thought, I don't know what an 80s shoe looks like. Like, what comes to my mind when I think of an 80s shoe? It's like, I'm drawing blank. So I'm looking at these girls, and I'm thinking it's 80s. I mean, looking at the hair here, and they all have straight, like, black pumps with a little shine. So I'm thinking if you guys are ever in a pinch for an 80s look, I guess you can't go wrong with, like, a little black. And they all have black hose, too, and come to think of it. That. I think these would be. Oh, isn't that the guy from Fox News, his wife? I don't know her name, but anyway, Jerry Howell. I think she's like super tall. I don't see my dress here yet, but my could be. Hold on. The woman has style. Oh, is that Janice Dickinson? Did I just see her? Listen. If I could find that again, I'll stop. Yeah, is that her? America's Next Top Model, season 1, baby. Okay. Anyway. Let me pull you guys up. I did get you on one phone, I think. This one. No, not that one. There you are. The crown I got today. It has like yellow, not diamonds, but to look like not faceted. What am I thinking of? And it has like pink pearls. And I didn't have a crown like that yet. Well, maybe I should just show you real quick. Okay, trying to see. This is not. I'm trying to. Okay, there you go. Arthur's here. Music, sports, and 80s and pro wrestling. What? Okay, so we're gonna read, and Arthur, you're gonna call tomorrow, and you have this song. But I want to talk to you for just like 5 minutes, and this is a lot for everyone else too. So can you just give me a call and we'll clear the air real quick? There's something I want to say. We don't want any more drama around here. Yeah, right now. I know you have your damn phone. And you're not going to be on the whole time. I'll hang up on you. Just a few minutes. Clock it. Someone time this. Nice slippers. I really should find... Well, you know what? Like, I've been trying to organize my shoes. And you guys, I have like 15 individual black pumps of all different like textures. Do you see the ones I wore today, actually? In the little strip one? Those were another one I happened to find the pair to, but like this one I'm looking at right now. Look. So like that's that's a perfectly cute little shoe right there. Where's your mates? Where's your partner? It's probably here. But you know what? I'm making progress. Oh, these are the same that I wore today, except I size. Oh, except I ripped them on the chair right now. There's a. Okay. Is this the wrong? That's the wrong phone. Where's my? Oh. Do you guys know what a pith helmet is? What a pith helmet? I have to Google. I don't know what that is. I don't even know what that looks like. Oh, I got a new Dodgers hat too. Has he called me yet? I'm not seeing it anywhere. Make it snappy. Okay, I'm calling him. Yeah, let's consider. And the other day when I called him up for the show, I think I told you this. He was like, "Who is this?" I was like, "You told me to call you." Arthur, is that you?
It still says a regular phone. It still says that my number. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll check again, but didn't look like it was blocked just now.
Yeah, my phone is restricted from ignorance.
Okay, Arthur. Okay, yeah, stop. Okay, this is one of the points that I'm trying to make. Like, okay, just be quiet for a couple minutes and listen to what I have to say. Okay.
I'm listening.
And this is for you and anybody else that like wants to boycott over any potential blocks, temporary, whatever, with Arthur. Maybe you should listen to this.
Okay.
People are different, and for you, Arthur, well, let me say something about myself first. I don't know that I've ever told anyone this, but for the most part with me, I am always hyper aware of how I look or sound or I'm moving. So like if we were at a record store and I'm looking like I'm just looking at records and my leg is like this and my arms are like this and however I'm wearing, you might think like, oh, that girl over there, she doesn't know that I'm watching her. I probably assume everybody's watching me too. And I'm seeing her doing something like with her feet or with her, like, and it's totally catching this because she's not like aware she's being watched. No, see, my problem is I am incredibly overly aware. When I was growing up, my mother used to literally slap me upside the face, hit me upside the head, like if I did anything that was like wrong, especially like it could be like embarrassing for a child. So am I chewing too loudly? That was a big one in my face for chewing too loudly. That hyper aware that you were being watched. And this, I think this adds to the fact of why when I have such a social, seemingly introversion, like in public, it's more because it's so difficult to be constantly on in a way. Like my brain is aware of a state I'm in, that my adrenaline goes faster. Right now included. My brain is aware of it, it accepts it, but it cannot do it all day. You know, I imagine if I was on like a Big Brother or something, I would find this enormously challenging, not to be myself, but to be so aware that I'm being watched, because what that means as somebody that had to like understand punishment and judgment can come from that. It's in many ways a scary feeling. Okay. So with that said, you are very likely very different. And when we get on the phone on Fridays, you are not aware of all of the judgments. I mean, you're aware people could judge you, but sometimes I'll say to you like, oh, so someone was like upset about this. And you would be like, oh, I didn't realize that. I was doing that. I was talking too long, or was that, or, oh, you were kind of like saying that, but I didn't realize. And I fully believe you. And I think it's great that people are different. I think that it's, like in my case, I think it helps to have been brought up this way, because I try to look on a bright side that, you know, in many jobs I would do, like you have to kind of be aware, and there can be good of that, but you also have the good thing of being in a record store, and you can just be like chewing your gum, and you're not thinking that that person's staring at me, and that person, and where's the security camera, and it's just kind of like hanging out, you know, and that's wonderful. But when you're on a show with me, this is why I have to keep you more in a flow, because I accept you are different and you don't see all of these things. And in my view, you're my friend. We're like family at this point. And through all the things we've been through together that people might not understand, but Arthur was part of my original channel for a long time. And I have a special place in my heart for people that stick around. And like, it's like they know you over time. I don't have that many people that know me over time. So when we had that problem and he came back, it was like a smaller problem over a larger time. And because of that familial aspect, he calls me like in a way like a sister. We're gonna fight. We might fight tonight. We might fight tomorrow. We're gonna fight again. We're both gonna, like, I have plenty of things about my personality that are not so great. I get very jealous. I can be very mean. And people that care about me can like call me on that or be like, whatever, like, but they're not just like throw me like trash. You like got bumps. And so with you, I feel the same way. But if people want to come in and find a fault that like, well, management had the problem with you because you were and they don't know how to deal with you. And I get that. I have to learn to reel you in more because I know that this is your problem. And I also like it that we're different. I like to feel like, well, because I like the way we're all like can be like a comedy duo. I can do that with most people, but in our own way. I find that very charming how you are amused by my antics in a particular way. And I have a lot of fun with you. But because when I'm going through these things, I sometimes lately have not pulled you in where people started to feel it was too much, especially talking about the past where I was getting uncomfortable. I And you kept trying, bless you, to make me feel better, but it kept going on that it was uncomfortable for, I think, people to watch, knowing like, okay, Stella's uncomfortable, you should stop. So I learned from this, and that's why I was like, stop, I'm gonna talk. And you know, like, I just have to be like that on the show. But this is a message to you. Whatever happens with like these just these disagreements that you're having with management over the phone calls or whatever you're saying in the chat, please don't hold this against me, and please don't try to organize people against me for this when we have our own particular friendship, like I do with anybody else, that they're their own person. Does that make any sense, Arthur?
I understand. I understand everything you just said. Everything you said. And I will tone down the phone calls. I won't be on the phone long. I will manage what I say, manage what comes out of my mouth, because I love you too much. And
yeah, and you know what? You're gonna make mistakes again, okay? But the whole thing with, and I'm gonna have to stop this soon because I know you'll be back tomorrow. But the whole thing with any type of threats, you need to sit on that for longer than just saying it. Like the other night, do you remember when you had that emotional breakdown the other night?
Yes.
I don't know. Did you call Pam? Did you call her during the show?
No, I don't remember, but I think I did, or I might have texted her.
Because I saw the video from you and your face, and I'm not going to share it. And you were very, very distraught. And on that day, I decided to end the show. It was I finished reading, and then I went and started writing you. So there's two things I want to say about that. One, I didn't want to exploit our friendship. I didn't want to exploit you coming on and being upset and then make you feel better and I'm some kind of a hero. This is ridiculous to do to a man that's having a hard time. I took it out away from this is about doing this on the show and more about you're very upset emotionally. And I called you directly. And I even said to you, like, you know, I appreciate that you try like with the show and you're singing. And I feel like I even said to you, I don't think Pam would have found the show, the channel without you again. So I wanted to do that directly, and I came from my heart to you. So to go and take that and expand it into like all these grievances now, like about, well, I do this, and so that, like, can you just try to put yourself in my shoes? I have this amount of time in a day. And believe me, I analyze it like nothing else, like for this with the cleaning and how I can make more of it. And I will try so I can get, even like you'll see with the OnlyFans clips, some of the ones I do intersperse, I'm doing two things at once. Like I'll be feeding my dog, or if I'm like rinsing my hair in the pool, and I'll be catching up with you guys. And because my schedule it's so much with what I can do, you know, and where I'm feeling like exhausted, and then you come in and it's like, deal with this, as though I'm not having anything else that's like weighing on me. And I think that you should think about that more, because I don't know how else to express it. I could show you a breakdown of a day for me, and you could try to find the time there that I can deal with this, because I can't, and I try. Okay?
Okay.
Are we good?
Oh yes, we are definitely good.
Okay, practice your song for tomorrow. I want to hear it. Okay, the one I told you.
The one I will play tomorrow. If I can like get through, if I can call you and get through.
Yeah, you're gonna get through. You're unblocked. Okay, I love you. I'll see you in chat. Mwah. Do you like that? We don't go in circles. It's a new philosophy we're trying, called handling this, since some people just can't get it. Sorry for that. But I know I wrapped you all into this today, and I wanted to like wrap you out where you feel smooth wrap. Okay. Is anybody ready for some reading? Did I just? Okay. I say one more thing. This is for you guys, since some people are going to be mad that I addressed Arthur. I'm looking at the chat right now. If anybody else has a grievance with me, say it, or for several minutes hold your peace until I check back, okay? Because I'll be reading a little bit, okay? Okay, I'm seeing a lot of JP messages deleted. I don't know what that was. I'm trying to sketch back. JP, say what you were saying. I don't know. I'll check in a second. I'm going to put those shoes on for today. I'll show you. You see this guy? I got him at the thrift today. The red M&M. Isn't the red one kind of the best? Or no, the yellow one, he's kind of a doof. He's funny too. But that one's a troublemaker. I have this song stuck in my head from they were playing at the thrift today, and it goes like, "I love the rainy night," and I don't know why. Like I don't. That's the only word I know, but they play it like a lot in the song, I guess. And I'm laying outside, and it's sunny today, and I got the dogs, messing around. I just put this on the wrong, the wrong foot. And I'm looking at the sun, and it like never rains here. And I was like, I love the rainy night. And Fila, even herself, was probably like, "Are you dumb? What is rain?" There. I'll take that up in a minute, but I felt like a fancy dress should make complete. All right, let me check the chat once more before I read a little. You know the song, is it? I think he is timed out. JP, what the hell did I miss? That's the other thing, you guys. If I'm reading, sometimes if I'm talking or I'm trying to show you something, I can't see the chat. Now, I used to say I would watch it later, after, but this new fun thing when I got other channels, because on my other channel it would go like right up. This one doesn't go up sometimes till like the next day, and then I'm like terrified usually like it's gonna get banned. But if it's there and I can see it, like especially in the morning, I have my coffee and I can see it, it's wonderful. But then if things are deleted, I can't see that, or if you delete your own or whatever. But man, it bothers me if I can't see it in the future. But to be bothered if I'm not seeing it right away, please don't, if it's to me, because I can't necessarily see everything right away. But I love it if you guys can talk with each other. I did get a little frustrated when I found out Arthur basically got banned the other day for trying to talk to you guys. I think management thought you might have been bothered by him. I don't know. But I do like it if you guys talk about things like, because like you're my friends and I want to be like last night when I read, I felt so much better. I was like, I feel like I hang out with my friends and I just get these like space to like in mental space. I just relax. Like I'm getting there, you know? So I want you to feel that way. Feel free to chat, but I might not see if it's to me right away. And I wish I could. I wish I had like double divided screen vision, but I don't. Okay, so enjoy each other, talk amongst each other. I will be checking in with you in a little while, but I'm going to read to you now. And we are on chapter 4. It's starting to get good. She's like starting to break out in her career. Let's see. 5. Chapter 5. The next day, I phoned home and told Dee Dee the bad news about losing my job. Come anyway, I said, but come by bus. George Raft was then going with Virginia Pine, a friend of mine, and we often double dated. When George heard that my family was arriving in Hollywood, that generous man insisted upon lending me his car and $65 to welcome them in style. We could hardly greet the folks on bicycles. So in great glee, Freddie and I rolled off to the bus terminal in style. When Dee Dee saw the little white bungalow on Ogden Drive in Hollywood, she burst into tears. This was one of the few times I ever saw her give way to her feelings. She came prepared to find work as a sales lady, armed with many written recommendations. But I put my foot down. Her working days were over, I told her. In the warm sunshine, Daddy seemed to regain some of his old jaunty spirits. The milkman, the trash collector, the retired people on the block all became his fast friends, drinking coffee with him and listening to his political harangues in the garage. This was Daddy's workshop and also his office, complete with a desk and a couple of old chairs. I really think we added 10 years to his life by moving him to California, and Dee Dee's migraine headaches eventually vanished. Keeping that household afloat was the greatest thing that ever happened to me. I cherished every minute of it. It was tough going financially at times. I was earning only $50 a week at RKL, and Freddie was making about the same. But it gave me a real purpose in life. I felt wanted and needed, and I was grateful to have the family together again. That's so true. I think I said it to one of you that I remember which one, but I don't know what they want me to say. And they asked me if I like doing the show. Like, I'm happy. And I think I said, well, this is what I mean. It makes me feel important. I feel a sense of like valued, a sense of, I feel a fulfillment. And what else would I mean? Like a purpose. And I said, and I think that's what the haters, it bothers them because fulfillment is worth more than money. You know, you could have a lot of money and then you'll try to find fulfillment. You'll try to or you don't find it. And for me to have it in this moment, it's like, it's great. You know, why would I do this for free? Because it gives me more than getting money. So that's so, like, what she's saying, how helping her family, she was so happy because it gave her like a purpose. And that, like, I totally relate to like why that would feel good, even though you're doing all this work, like, and seeing him thriving, you know. I keep looking like, should I put up my hair all the way? But I don't. I'm fussing with it because this material, I got like a drawer full of these at the 99-cent store for the 99 cents. I'm like, I love them. They're satin, so much better than the cotton ones from Forever 21, I think. Okay, so each morning I'd get up at 6 to reach the RKO studios on Gower Street by 7. The long, low plaster buildings of the old RKO Lot House Desilu studios today. In fact, the same guard greets me at the front gate. When he says, "Hello, Lucy," these mornings he reminds me that as an eager young starlet, I disliked that nickname. My idols were Carol Lombard and Katharine Hepburn. I could visualize Lucille on theater marquees, but not Lucy. Lucy is such a cute name, but when I think of it, I think of her. And I've been that way my whole life because I was probably exposed to the show. It's been syndicated since like probably the early 70s, maybe earlier. So I don't know anyone that hears the name Lucy and doesn't even slightly like know of her. You know, like, who's the most famous Lucy? I love Lucy. So I wound up as a showgirl in Roberta, modeling. What did I? Oh, my shoe. I'm like, what is in the way of my M&M? Come here, buddy. Come here, buddy. Modeling clothes. The movie starred Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers, the hottest song and dance team in Hollywood. One of the cliches of Hollywood is behind every successful actress are a hairdresser and a mother. Hairdressers come and go, but Ginger Rogers had only one fabulous mother, a woman who played mother to many of us. We worked our way up. Pandro Berman once remarked that Leela Rogers charged about the set like a mother rhinoceros, protecting her young. Leela was petite, dynamic, practical, and shrewd. She was also quite as sexy and beautiful as her daughter. One way or another, Leela Rogers generally got her own way. I'm thinking of whatever Leela wants, Leela gets. What is that from? And Little Man? I know it's Lola, but I don't know. Rhinoceros, they look like dinosaurs. I have a hard time remembering that they're real, but I know something about a rhino, or is it a hippo? Like, they're very, like, they could kill you. They're very, like, they got a lot going on. But I saw a video, I don't know, it might take me a while to find it for you, so I'm not going to do that right now, but of an elephant, and it's like a caterpillar or something. It's pushing its legs up, and then it can't get stuck, so it digs it the whole, or no, it dug it and then it lifted it, and then the elephant was so happy it went over and it rubbed its trunk to the caterpillar, And it was like, that is so gosh darn sweet. That is so, because he knew that it helped him. I don't know, like why I have to, that is so adorable. You guys, we gotta keep the elephants. We gotta protect them because like they're beautiful. Okay. Her daughter was her Galatea, a star she created. Ginger was just another bright-faced kid from Texas with one Broadway show under her belt when she came to RKO. She was not a great dancer. Huh? 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 And she couldn't sing or act. She had to learn all these things and at the same time keep up with a great performer, Fred Astaire, who was also one of the hardest task makers on earth. Fred would practice one dance step, which would take about 4 seconds on the screen for 3 hours or more. Yeah, you can find clips on YouTube. There's like of just that era of like dancing in movies. It's so whoa. There's one they like somebody edited to like Uptown Funk, and it's just like wow, that's amazing. Like that amazing. Okay, just the effort and then the like the things they could do with like a hat or anyway. Okay. He expected the same perfection from Ginger. They danced 16, 18 hours a day until their feet were literally bleeding. Leela had started Ginger on the vaudeville circuit when she was barely 14. What is vaudeville? Guys, what is that? I keep thinking ventriloquism. Is that Leela wrote her a new act every week. Is that okay? From Gypsy Rose Lee, when the younger sister, baby something like she had an act, but then she grew up, and so Gypsy became a stripper burlesque dancer, and but that. The kid act was vaudeville. Am I close? Should we read that biography next? I'm sure that's a doozy. Okay. We'll think about it. Leela wrote her new act every week, including songs and dances, and made her costumes on a portable sewing machine. She was her daughter's press agent, business manager, and school teacher as well. When I knew them, Leela was still keeping Ginger hopping with lessons of all kinds: painting, sculpture, tennis, geography, history, and the great books. Leela was great on improving Ginger, or any of us who happened to be lucky enough to be around. Ginger and Fred had little in common and battled through every picture, yet moviegoers found them one of the great romantic teams of all time. Hollywood at first didn't know what to make of Fred. He was skinny, balding, and treated girls like a kindly uncle. Well, there are worse ways to treat girls. He had been in Flying Down to Rio with Dolores Del Rio. She wasn't a good dancer and was heavy at that time. Fred thought the finished movie was a bomb, so the studio decided to get him another girl and add some dance scenes. Fred asked for Ginger, having helped her in New York with some of her dance routines. In Girl Crazy, as a favor to George Gershwin. So a small part was added to flying down to Rio for Ginger, and overnight she and Fred were a hit. The gay divorcee followed. Layla used to say that Ginger was Fred's best dancing partner because she imitated his body movements. When he danced with other girls, they took off and did their own kind of dancing. Ginger had no style of her own, so she borrowed Fred's. Then, to make him appear romantic, she never took her eyes off him. He gave her a class as a dancer, and she gave him, or he gave her class as a dancer, and she gave him romantic appeal. Just watching Layla handle, I've seen that video, like I said, with the dancing. I don't know that I've ever seen a Fred Astaire film or Ginger. Like, it's possible if she was like a bit player in some movies. Like, I don't know her by memory. I don't pull up a face of what she looks like. But so what I'm about to say might not apply, but I know, like, in Hollywood and, on shows and whatever, they talk about having, like, chemistry being important. So sometimes it's like, if they might not think you're the greatest of this or this, but for some reason, like I've seen it when we're testing for, like, read this person. A lot of times you can just, I don't know how to explain it, but you could see the chemistry in action where they could monologue and this person's better, but man, together, that's really something. So maybe they had that. But with the right chemistry, it's worth millions, babe. Just watching Layla handle Ginger on the set was an education in itself. Layla would go upstairs and say to the bosses, it would be a lot easier for Ginger if she had a little bit larger dressing room so she could wash her hair there instead of doing it at home. Ginger hasn't asked for this, but we could save 45 minutes every morning if you just knock out a wall and give her a little more room. Ginger was working so hard that she needed a few assists. She was a sunny, cheerful person, friendly and approachable. As a puppy, she never had an entourage to impress other people, as many stars did and still do. She needed a hairdresser right at hand and a choreographer and a secretary and a press man or two. I need all of these things. I need them right now. A hairdresser, choreographer, press man or two. What else? And when she moved about the lot, they moved to save her time. Oh my God, I need somebody to help put on my shoes, my hose, tell me my butt look good. Where's my book? I've lost my book. Oh, thank you. My cough. Ginger, I feel you, girl. When she walked from her dressing room to the set, 7 or 8 people came along. Ginger made 71 movies in a period of 14 years. 71? And I don't know what she looks like. She must have not been very scandalous. Which I'm sure says more about me than her. Including 9 with Fred at Arcadal. When one of their films was finally in the can, Fred would sail to Europe to recuperate for 6 months. Six months? Hiatus. Ginger would start a new movie within 24 hours. The wonderful thing about Leela was that she was mom to a bevy of young, struggling starlets. She directed RKO's Little Theater, where promising young people from other studios also came to be tutored by this wise, warm woman. When some young kid at Warner Brothers or MGM was hauled into the clink for drunken driving or some other charge, Miss Rogers was usually the first person the cops would telephone. One of your kids is here, they tell her, asking for Mom Rogers, and she'd drop everything and hurry to the police station. Just before we started filming Roberta, Leela got a phone call from Pam Berman at the front office. We put 4 models under a short-term contract for Roberta, he told her. 3 of them may be star material. Then there's a kid named Lucille Ball. Don't pay any attention to her. Bernie Newman hired her. I don't know why. She's great at parties, a real funny kid, but I can't see any future for her in movies. Leela thought otherwise. She told me years later, I noticed the twinkle in your eyes and the mobile face, which is a must for comedy. I also sense the depth and a great capacity for love. What would you give to be a star in 2 years? Leela asked me when I first was getting to know her. I gulped and answered, gee, what do you mean? Would you give me every breath you draw for 2 years? Will you work 7 days a week? Will you sacrifice all your social life? I had observed Ginger's dedication on the set, and I knew that Leela meant every word. I certainly will, I promised. Okay, she said, let's start. Leela was the first person to see me as a clown with glamour. She pulled my frizzy hair back off my brow and had a couple of my side teeth straightened. Then she sent me to a voice teacher and told me to lower my high, squeaky voice by 4 tones. Leela used to say, a comedian who does Ginger's style of comedy has to be good looking. You should be able to sit and watch her read the telephone book, and with either Lucille or Ginger, you can. Miss Rogers would arrive at her theater building on the RKO lot after lunch. Whoever wasn't working on some movie set would join her then. The rest would arrive at 6 p.m. when shooting generally stopped. To break down our reserve, she put us in improvisations. At 3 in the morning, we'd be begging, oh, please, Mom, just one more. Let's do just one more. Then we'd be going home at 4, punchy with weariness, but feeling so wonderful. To me, the live theater is it. It's it. And it still is. Leela mounted us in good plays and rehearsed us steadily for 4 or 5 months. Then we'd perform the play nightly except Sundays. For the same length of time, her productions were an incredible showcase for young talent. Admission to the plays was 25 cents. People flocked to our theater from all over town. and from as far as New York. Often we'd have directors and producers in the audience, and critics too. I met Brock Pemberton and his wife backstage one evening. For months after that, he tried to find me a part on Broadway. I soon became part of a small, intimate group centered around Ginger, who was about my age. On weekends, we played tennis, went swimming, and double dated at the Ambassador and the Biltmore. The group included Phyllis Frazier, Ginger's first cousin, who is now Miss Bennett Cerf, Eddie Rubin, Florence Lake, and Anita the Face Colby. Ginger was dating Lee Bowman, Henry Fonda, Jimmy Stewart, and Orson Welles. Often I went along. It was such a busy, happy time for me. Leela took the dungarees off us and put us into becoming dresses. She ripped off our hairbands and made us do our hair right. If we went to see a big producer in his office, she cautioned us to put on full makeup. And look like somebody. She made us read good literature to improve our English and expand our understanding of character. She drummed into us how to treat agents and the bosses upstairs. Leela believed that sex is more of a hindrance than a help to a would-be star. More actresses have made it to the top without obvious sex appeal than with it. I can believe that. Leela taught us to dedicate ourselves to our work and to ignore the nerve-wracking rumors of calamity issuing from the front office. I never played politics at RKO, and it wouldn't have helped if I had. RKO had 11 presidents in 14 years. Leela advised us to work on ourselves and pay no attention to those corporate machinations. Leela wouldn't tolerate anyone taking advantage of her charges. One producer at RKO kept sending her his proteges to include in her classes. Leila kept throwing them out, and her patience was exhausted. One day, another protege arrived, saying coyly, "Mr. X sent me." Leila picked up a telephone and told that producer, "I am not Madam Rogers, and my workshop is not a whorehouse." Sorry. I can just imagine. I just can imagine. I love these women. Like, from that time, it's like, I'm not Madam, right? So, I'm not Madam Eternum, and my studio is not a whorehouse. Sorry. You tell them, sister. This girl you sent me today has no talent whatsoever and no future in the theater. So put her where you had her last night and keep her there. That was the last we saw of those gammy dames. Those poor gammy dames. My first contract at RKO was, wait, are these gammies? Are legs and feet gammies? Am I a gammies? Am I a gammy dame? Oh no. Is this a house? Is this an, like, I haven't had sex in like over 10 years, I guess. 50, like, no, it's not. Leave my gammies alone. My first contract at RKO was for 3 months. This was extended to 6 months, then to a year. On May 12, 1935, our Cleo baby turned 16 and was finally allowed to choose where she wanted to live. Okay, Cleo's okay. I was like, what? I was worried about Cleo. She immediately left her father in Buffalo and joined us in Hollywood. Cleo was so happy to have a mother again, she wouldn't let Dee Dee out of her sight. I drove directly from the studio to the bus terminal to get her in my secondhand Studebaker Phaeton. What? My first car. Cleo was overwhelmed at the sight of a real movie star in full stage makeup, false lashes, big picture hats, and polka dot silk dress. I was back to making $75 a week and thought I had arrived. My contract had been extended to a year, but as 1935 drew to an end, Leela found me in tears. Last night at midnight was the last hour they could pick up my option, I told her. I guess I'm through. Leela stormed up to the front office and learned that indeed I had been dropped. A new president had been installed and was affecting economies by cutting down the payroll. Very well, Leela shrugged. If Lucille goes, I go. She's the best student I've got. I'll take her to some other studio and manage her like I do Ginger. The bosses paled at this threat, and I was immediately rehired. Leela told me that the legal department had made a mistake about the date of the option. They may ask you to take the same salary without raise this year, she added, and if I were you, I'd take it. So there I was, safe for another year. Leela taught us never to see anyone as bigger or more important than ourselves, but she discouraged our outbursts of petty temperament. It was very bad, she said, for a young player to get the reputation of being difficult. This was brought home to me one time when my hot temper got out of hands. I was sitting before a makeup table one morning when the head makeup man, Mel Burns, rudely told me to get out. Katharine Hepburn was on her way. She had been hired at $2,000 a week and was held in great awe and respect by everyone on the lot. So, with one eyebrow and no lipstick on my face, I hurriedly gathered up my things and left. After Mel Burns started walking on Hepburn, however, I realized I had left my eyebrow pencil behind. I came back drinking a cup of coffee and stuck my head through the little talking hole into the dressing room. Mel Burns ignored my polite request for the eyebrow pencil and went on applying makeup to Hepburn. I asked him again, and then a third time. He made some stale reply. I had been putting up with this guy for a long time and had had about enough. Suddenly, the coffee cup in my left hand went sailing into the dressing room, narrowly missing Hepburn's celebrated head. Okay, that's, it seems bad. But keep in mind, she had new eyebrows. They shaded them all off. She would look spooky. And nobody wants to see people looking like. You expect to see a person. Imagine seeing a person all the time with eyebrows. And then all of a sudden, no eyebrows. You'd be shocked. I came back drinking. Oh no, here we go. A little later, Leela was summoned to the front office. You in trouble. This Lucille Ball is temperamental. We'll have to get rid of her. Mr. Berman said, of course she is temperamental, or she wouldn't be worth a cent to you or anybody else, Leela flared up. So is Mel Burns. So if you fire her, fire them both. I was in the doghouse, all right. So, to show everybody whose side she was on, Leela took me to the commissary for lunch. Hepburn walked over to our table and said soothingly, "It's all right, Lucy." Then she added, "You have to wait until you get a little bigger before you can practice temperament." Leela expected all of us to show up at play rehearsals, whether we were in the production or not. As Phil Silvers is fond of saying, if you hang around show business long enough, you'll learn. We all spend hours and hours in the darkened theater watching rehearsals. We were putting on A Case of Rain with Anita Colby in the lead. When Leela called me at 10 o'clock one morning, "Anita's sick and can't go on tonight," she announced. "Will you take her place?" She then explained that there was no time for a full rehearsal. "My assistant will go through the lines and moves with you," she said. I had, of course, studied the play. She watched the rehearsals, but there's a big difference between this kind of mental approach and the actual performance. I arrived at Leela's theater about 11 a.m. and stayed there all day until the opening night at 8 o'clock that night. I don't know how I did it, but I played the lead without missing a line or a cue and got 25 more laughs than usual. Afterward, Leela came to me and said, "Lucille, If you're in the theater for 50 years, you'll never face a more difficult task. You've been through the worst that can happen to a performer. I hope you'll always rise to challenges like that. Only recently did I learn from Leela that my jumping in at the last moment was her way of testing me. Anita's sudden, quote, illness was a put up job. Sitting in the back row of Leela's little theater one night was Pandro Berman. He was a short, dark, vital, and still in his early 30s, the boy wonder of the industry. He produced all the Astaire Rogers musicals and had often been locked in mortal combat with Leela over Ginger's lines or dances or her attention-getting costumes. One of Ginger's bouffant ostrich feather dance gowns almost suffocated skinny Fred, but Leela fought Pan Berman for every feather and won. As RKO's top producer started to leave the theater after the performance, Leela came to him and crowed. That was Lucille Ball, who played the lead tonight. On only a few hours' notice, she's the girl you said had no acting potential. For once, Mr. Berman had no counterattack to the, quote, mother rhinoceros. Yes, I know, he told Leela quietly and stole away. Leela kept telling the RKO producers and directors, I have a passo of good talent. And when you're casting bit parts, I want you to use my students. Director Mark Sandrich came to her one day when he was casting Top Hat, and Leela talked him into giving me a few lines. It was my first real speaking part. And during the filming, I was so nervous and unstrung that I couldn't get the words out. They phoned Leela and told her I wasn't doing well and would have to be replaced. So Leila hired herself over to the set. My scene took place in a florist shop where I was supposed to make some biting remarks to some man about Fred's sending flowers to Ginger. I stumbled and blew my lines until Leila said to Mark Sandrich, reverse the lines. It's not in character for the girl to make those biting remarks. Give them to the man. So we reversed the dialogue and everything worked out fine. My next movie was Follow the Fleet, which was another big, splashy Astaire Rogers musical with Betty Grable in one of her early parts. I've never seen any of these movies. Ginger and Fred sang and have you guys ever seen The Odd Couple? I'd never seen The Odd Couple, and I was looking for it on Amazon. I don't know if it's a show, a movie, what it's about. I need to be educated about The Odd Couples and the Bob Newharts. Let's face the music and dance. I'm putting all my eggs in one basket. We saw the sea and let yourself go. It was based on the stage comedy Shore Leave with little plots but great songs and dancing. I played Ginger's friend. The picture opened at Radio City Music Hall in February 1936. And shortly afterward, I got my first fan letter, which I still have. It was addressed to the front office and said, you might give the tall gum-chewing blonde more parts and see if she can't make the grade. A good gamble. From Follow the Fleet, I went into the second lead of that girl from Paris with Lily Pons and Jack Oakey. On the set, I clowned continually. One day, an older man came up to me and said, "Young lady, if you play your cards right, you can be one of the greatest comedians in the business." I just gave him a look. I figured he was one of those guys who came around measuring starlets for tights. Oh, what does that mean? Then I learned he was Edward Sedgwick, a famous comedy director who had coached Buster Keaton and Jack Haley. Or is it Haley? Eventually, Ed Sedgwick taught me many comedy techniques. The double take and the eye-rolling bits and how to handle props. He became Desi's mentor, and his wonderful, witty wife, Ebba, my confidant. They were both as close as father and mother to us. Russell Markert, Leela Rogers, Ed Sedgwick, these were but a few of the experienced theater people who generously gave me a boost. I have a theory about the assist we get in life. Only rarely can we repay these people who helped us, but we can pass that help along to others. That's why in 1958, I reactivated Leela's theater workshop with 24 talented kids trying to get started in show business. My accountants refer to it as Lucy's Folly. But Marie Torrey called it the most practical workshop in television. I found it deeply satisfying experience. It was my way of thanking Layla. Freddie, Cleo, Dee, Daddy, and I were all still living in the little 3-bedroom rented house at 1344 Ogden Drive with 2 fox terriers and 5 white cats. But you know, white cats, the right cat can look so glamorous. 5, like those greyhounds, those big. In the same way that I collected animals, Daddy built up a large circle of ne'er-do-wells and underdogs. He suffered a slight stroke at 71 and afterward became garrulous and even more worried about the state of the world. My dates thought him eccentric and a character, especially when he read aloud to them from the Daily Worker while they waited for me. There's no doubt that Daddy's experience with the law in Celeron disillusioned him deeply about democracy. He had worked hard all his life, then overnight everything was taken away from him unjustly. During the Depression, he saw many of his closest friends also lose their homes and life savings through circumstances beyond their control. The furniture factories in Jamestown closed. The craftsmen were thrown out of work, and after a few weeks or months, most of them were penniless and on relief. And these were master craftsmen, proud, able men. Daddy would complain about the hard lot of the working man. And before we knew it, his garage became the meeting place of radical left-wingers and crackpots. I never saw any of these people being much too busy working, but Dee Dee often said that they were taking advantage of Daddy's warm heart. He was the softest touch in the world, or in the whole neighborhood. He would go to the relief board and battle for a total stranger. He was a sincere humanitarian, but also sentimental and unrealistic. For instance, he soon discovered that the corner of Fairfax and Sunset Boulevard, just a block from our house, was a favorite gathering spot of Hollywood's cowgirls. Daddy would hurry over there to some lady of the evening and press a $5 bill into her hand, saying, "Take this and go back home. You don't have to work tonight." "Sure, Pop, thanks a lot," the woman would say. She'd pocket the money and walk around the block and be back at the same stand 5 minutes later. Daddy gave away his money every week until we finally had to stop giving him any. If we contradicted or crossed him, he became highly emotional. It was easier to agree with him than to risk his having a second stroke. We couldn't keep a maid because I'd immediately tell her she was overworked, or he'd immediately tell her she was overworked and underpaid. I got him a job in the carpentry department at RKO, where master wood craftsmen were scarce. He worked one Monday from 7 until 11 a.m. It took him exactly that long to walk the wood turners out on strike. And they were getting very good money. Until Daddy arrived, it had never entered their minds they were the least bit underpaid. After his stroke, Daddy was confined a good deal to a rocking chair. There was a tall tree near our sidewalk, which he said interfered with his view of the mountains. "That goddamn tree is in my way," he complained repeatedly. "I'm going to cut it down." I explained this would be against the law. "It's not our tree," I told him. "It belongs to the city." A few weeks later, he changed his tune. "Someday that tree will blow down in a storm. You'll see." Sure enough, during a mild sprinkle, the tree toppled over. Then we could see that the roots had been cut, the sod neatly turned back for the operation, and then replaced. Worse than that, the tree fell right on top of my new secondhand Studebaker, which was parked at the curb. It cost me $400 to get it fixed. I was going at such a pace at the studio and Leela's little theater around this time that I wore myself down to 100 pounds. My normal weight today is 130. While I was in the hospital on a fattening diet, Leela asked me if I wanted a bit part in a play by Bartlett Cormack, Hey Diddle Diddle, which was headed for Broadway. Leela developed not only actors and actresses, but playwrights too. It never hurts a movie actress to appear in a successful play back east, so I jumped at the chance. It was not a great play, but I enjoyed the junket. Conway Tyrrell was the star, and Alice White played a starlet in this feeble melodrama about life on Eucalyptus Drive in Hollywood. Keenan Wynn, a massive talent with a daredevil personality, was a man in white. We opened the show in Princeton, and the reviewers called me another Hepburn. We moved on to New Haven, and there Conway Twirl became seriously ill. So that was the end of the tour. In New York, I moved into a swank 57th Street hotel and then walked over to Fifth Avenue to buy myself a truckload of new clothes. To a newspaper reporter for a New York paper. I said candidly, I'm happy for the first time in my life. I know what I'm doing and where I'm going. I explained that I had been in love twice, but that I didn't want to get married. I want to be a good comedian. I told that reporter, like Alice Brady or Zasu Pitts, character actresses last longer. After my big close spree, I went up to Jamestown to visit my grandmother in Grandmother Peterson. It was February and 6 inches of fresh snow lay on the ground. To my intense delight, I saw Johnny briefly. He had not married and was still carrying the torch for me, but my feeling for him had cooled to a very small glow of affection. With the arrival of the Depression, Johnny had fallen on hard times. Jamestown was a sad place that winter of 1937. The furniture business was in complete doldrums. The banks had foreclosed on 4,000 homes and thrown as many families into the street. Johnny asked me for money to pay for his mother's insurance, and I was glad to be able to help him. It was wonderful to be a contract player. Whether you worked or not, you got that paycheck every week. Back in Hollywood, I did another play for Leela, Breakfast for Benora. After the last performance, I was removing my stage makeup. Leela came backstage with a huge bouquet of roses. These are for you, she said. But Leela, I said, amazed, what for? Tonight's our last night together, explained Leela. I've taught you everything I can. From now on, you have to put it into practice. I could feel the tears welling up inside me. You mean I'm not coming back anymore? I asked incredulously. No, darling, said Leela. I've had you 2 years, and the studio says that's all. They've got some new students for me. You're through here at the Little Theater. We both cried a little. This is like the last page now. We both cried a little, and then I didn't see Leela for weeks. As a final favor, she got me a speaking part in Stage Door. which Gregory LaCaffa directed. He was an outstanding director, but he didn't particularly like me. He'd only given me the parts, I'm sure, at Leela's prodding. The movie was based on the play by Edna Ferber and George Kaufman about the group of starstruck girls living together at the Footlights Club. Critic Howard Barnes called it brilliantly written, directed, and acted, a superbly modulated succession of scenes and moods. He added that Ginger Rogers, as Katharine Hepburn's caustic roommate, serves notice that she can act as well as dance. Adolphe Menjo, who played the rake play producer, and Gal Patrick, the opportunistic young girl. Andrea Leeds was the overly sensitive one who committed suicide. Eve Arden and Ann Miller and so many other fine actors had roles in this picture. It was a treat to be even a part of it. I played one of the boarders at the Footlights Club, wearing my hair long and dark, loose and straight, like Hepburn's. It was my first standout part, and afterward, some Hollywood producer's wife, lunching at Chasen's, was overheard to say, "Who was that funny tall girl in Stage Door who went home to Oregon to marry a lumberman?" My next opus was also a big, expensive A movie. Having wonderful time. Ginger Rogers and Douglas Fairbanks Jr. played the leads in this comedy about 2 weeks at Camp Carefree. Eve Arden. Oh my God. Camp Carefree. Oh my God. Okay. Eve Arden, who had played a stage door with me, was in the large cast, as well as Phyllis Fraser, Jack Carson, and a new comic named Red Skelton. I even got Cleo a small part. We went on location for 3 weeks to 7,000-foot Big Bear Mountain. I felt literally on top of the world. The movie was a hit at Radio City, and for the first time, I was mentioned in the New York movie reviews. Lucille Ball is faultless as Miriam, one of the Harpies. Okay, so that was chapter 5. Sorry, I bought a paddle, but I didn't get it. I must have forgot that I bought a paddle. And it was like a smaller paddle, but it's cool. And it said Camp Wild and Carefree. So when that said Camp Carefree or Wild and Free or something, I was like, oh, I left that paddle there. Because I don't remember bringing that in and not in the car. So now I'm thinking, yeah, I don't think I have it. How can I forget having the whole ass paddle? So, okay. Oh my God. And these people, they're so adamant, like, stand here, stand here. Just give me a second. Oh. A pen. Goodwill about damn paddle. I can't believe I forgot that. Unbelievable. And you know what? It's because I was mad about a you know what. And I didn't buy many things, and one of them was a paddle. We'll figure it out. They'll have to refund me or something because ridiculous. Okay, sorry. But I wanted that paddle. I thought it would be very threatening. It was like what, like almost like a. Well, you know, I have like my huge paddle, but this one was more like you could handle it, and I liked it. I mean, I wrote something else, but sorry. Okay. I'm back. It's okay, get it out. I wanted my paddle. I'm sure it's on my receipt. These people, they're closed now for hours, but I'll be out tomorrow and I'll figure it out. Paddle me some. You guys would like it. I would. Oh, I can't believe this. My fear is they put it at the front. It's okay. I'll figure it out. You're so pretty still. I feel like I look a mess. I have a look at a mess. Okay. I'm looking. Say it. Guys. I got my trampoline, my Lego dollhouse, a bottle of 99 cents store mouthwash. What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? Thank you, Bob. They'll have it tomorrow. Yeah. It was a stellar performance. Thank you. You know, and that chapter goes so aligned with what I've, well, not what I've always thought, but what I was told on the plane when I moved to California by the man that sat next to me. He said, people have a misconception in life that you get where you get alone, but you don't. And people that help you. And I'll, you know, keep that in mind, especially when I see other people that have people that help them. But it's true. You should appreciate everybody that helps you. Like, I appreciate you guys. And I want to help you guys too. But with her, like that lady and people that gave her a chance, she can see looking back, they made the difference. Because without them, it's like, who's having your back? You could be just like that other people that are like, get out of here, lady with the gowns. Guilty, yes, with the hat and the paddle. Handcuff you to my wheelchair. Say, put in the chair and be like, and I'm gonna take care of you, just for your own safety. I'm gonna put this, be like, and I'll be very nice, unless you disrespect and you don't listen. Like shit. Wheelchair fun. I should paint my toenails again for you guys tomorrow because this red one is chipped and I have it before. I know Lewis asked me, say, is that my nail polish you sent you? No, yours is much better. Yours is more like a red. Oh, and by the way, I found your outfit that you gave me. Again, like, I don't mean it's lost, but things come up and remind you. I'm going to wear that again because I love that look that you sent me. Do you guys remember this one with the red that zips in the front? That goes so good with that red polish. And then it has these cutouts. Like with pantyhose, like right through. Get that. Get my paddle. I'm sorry, I missed your reading for chat. Well, it happens because they ban all my channels. They're probably gonna ban this one in 5 minutes. What am I gonna do? That's why I have backups now. And we gotta have tomorrow because I have so many hauls. We got call-ins. Should do more trivia. We have to make it fun and uplifting. And then Saturday, our movie date. So Pam, don't worry, girl. If I'm not here on Saturday, it's because I'm doing the movie night on OnlyFans. Don't tempt fate. You know what? I Okay, can you help me? Can you do some spells or incantations? Can I call you tomorrow? Of course. I hope you do. I'm so tired. Can I just fall asleep? Well, I'm going to let you go. Can someone let me know, though? So the new Cinderella movie is going to be on Amazon Prime. Is it going to go live at midnight tonight? Because even though I have to be somewhere tomorrow, I have to be, at the thrift shopping. If it's at midnight and I'm up, I'll probably want to watch it because I bet it's like fun. Because I know it's supposed to go live or September 3rd. And if it is, and you're on OnlyFans, I'll be up and I'll be watching Cinderella. So that's my plan. And I will definitely give you a review tomorrow, for sure. But it's probably not your kind of movie. I love you too. We'll try to sing a country. Oh, that's exciting. Okay. Stare it in the face and laugh at itself. At what? At what? Ha! Ha! I laugh at you. Fate. Did I tempt fate with my gams? Were my gams tempting fate? Look at this look. I feel tempted to put on like something else I got today. Even though like I've been sitting here drinking the coffee. Like, I don't know, I want to share. Oh, I'm not wearing a bra, so let me just okay, what should I put on? Okay, I'm going to surprise you with something. Let's see. Oh, I know. Okay, what's this? Okay, well, I'm going to have to. It's a pirate coat. Well, pirate vixen. But so you can see that. Because a pirate coat, you see the red velvet or red satin. And then see how it goes lower? And then because I don't have anything underneath right now, but it looks cool over something, over the dress I wore to the thrift. But I'm just doing these buttons. I don't think I have, that's all. I don't think I have a pirate hat, but I'll see then. But I have a hat that might do. So let me grab it. I don't. What did I just throw? mess. Oh, you're gonna love the haul tomorrow. I'm so excited. Where's my... Oh, here we go. Okay, I'm sorry, guys, but... I don't want to be looking... You gotta respect pirate, so... I think in this hat... Oh, we ready to go. We're ready to go. What was I here? Keep that Tyler. Well, I feel like a pirate hat has more of a like a boat, but I can make it work. I got another hat today too. That one's right here. Let's see. Dodgers hat. So that's the pirate look. I kind of liked the little naughty pirate captain. I think it was called, because you can buy it from charades, called like Pirates Vixen. So I got that one today, and I'm keeping it. And more to show you tomorrow. Oh, and I got the M&Ms today, but I think I showed you that. So there's a little teaser. Just a little teaser for tomorrow. Make it work. I walked up like, you don't have to. You're part of my pirate crew, and we go out and we get the booty, and then we're set on my ship and we party it up. So we're doing really good. Wish me luck finding some more costumes tomorrow. You know how I love the costumes. Sleep well. I'll be around on OnlyFans. If you want to see what I was doing on OnlyFans after the show last night, that's on there. And I see you tomorrow. Give me a call tomorrow. My number will be there. I love you so much. No fights. I want us all be happy. I love you.